Right, let's get interactive. I'm a Pizzo 7 days here. Hello, Maps.
Hello, Izzy. You know how to join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're Joy News on TV. Send us a WhatsApp message on 055-815-7074. Now, as part of wide-ranging reforms announced by the Ghana Education Service in Accra today, pupils will start wearing new sets of uniforms starting this September. And let me tell you something, it caused somewhat of an uproar on social media. Some are asking how changing the uniform will enhance academic performance and a sense of patriotism. Others are calling it a misplaced priority, and others are saying infrastructure is more important. Well, we posted that on our social media page, and we also created a poll, but let me start with some of your comments on that. So this is the picture of the uniform. I mean, Izzy, a lot of people have been talking about this, but let's see what they've been saying. So
I like the skirt, though.
Really?
Yeah, I like the fabric for the skirt.
All right, okay, let's see what people are saying.
All right, so Curtis Banner says, somebody just went for estimate for his new mansion. Sikedie Basa. And Maudem says, Ghana is working again. The change we voted for. Akwesi Damka says, we play too much in this country. Hardly May says, this is a good initiative. My concern is there should be value for our money in this contract. Hayford says, interesting. Donyoga says, even with the Kokunte, how they dirty themselves, and you bring in this, shaking my head. Snow Schmidt says, it's beautiful, and I know most kids will feel proud in it. Faith Awini. Okay, there are 39 replies.
To this.
let's find out what's happening there. Okay, so Nancy says, Snow Schmidt, they will feel proud when they don't have to learn under trees. This is totally unnecessary. And then she comes and says, what is unnecessary is wasting your time and energy to be negative. Leave my comment alone and take your frustration away, please. I don't encourage negative people. Solomon comes in. Negative people are people who don't like our nation. When your child is sitting on the floor, they want uniform because there is chop. Joel says, next time, comment under your pillow.
Wow. All right, let's see if we can get more of those comments. Phil Webster says it's the government's duty to build the schools, not the government's duty to buy students uniform or clothes. Let's be honest, NPP and NDC are all wicked and criminals. The president may be a good person, but the followers, only God knows. All right, so we created a poll on our Facebook page, and we asked you, what do you think about the new school uniforms for basic education? And our two options were great decision or misplaced priority. With 6.3 thousand votes, 29% say it's a great decision, and 71% said it's a misplaced priority. But Benedict comes in to say what we need to reform now is our academic system, a system of education that is entrepreneurially orientated and schools and skills backed with practical orientation. Changing school uniforms doesn't change the poor nature of our education system.
And Baba Moro says there's nothing wrong about these new school uniforms, but I know for sure that Jomama and his gang will have something bad to say. This present orange and chocolate color school uniforms came into being during the Rawlings era when Joyce Ayi was the Secretary for Education. That was when the system was changed from primary, middle, and secondary school to JHSS and SHS. Before then, the boys wear khaki while the girls wear uniforms approved by their schools. There is nothing wrong with this new change except that Mahama and his people will bring politics in to have something bad to say about it. Thomas says, instead of tackling the real challenges in our educational sector, our confused leaders are only interested in creating, looting, and sharing. There are not enough textbooks, classrooms, furniture, and other vital educational items, but changing the uniform is what Nanado can do.
All right, well, at the time of production, the Ghana Education Service was trending. Right now, it is at number 4, and we'll be taking some of your tweets of what you have been saying.
All right, so Prempe says, can't the junior high schools in Ghana reject this uniform thing by the Ghana Education Service? Parents should simply demonstrate to boycott this uniform change. It is simply irrelevant. Slick says, Ghana Education Service, so after changing the uniforms for the kids, then what? They go back to sit in the retired buildings and under trees to study with it? Joke country. Ilanea says, changing uniforms while some schools are still under trees. Ghana Education Service. And Magician says, Ghana Education Service is helpless in the school uniform change is all part of the NPP government rebranding agenda. Party colors for a uniform. Okay, but we don't see any party colors in this one, actually. Yeah.
Everybody wants to add politics to everything.
Yeah. Ghana Education Service, you don't have money to print exam papers, but you have money to print new uniforms. Huh? Shaking my head. And then Nana Ben says, this new uniform will cost millions of cedis. Ghana Education Service, why? Corruption.
All right, let me take some of your WhatsApp messages. This one from Atu says, the drawing in the uniform is the one which is making me laugh. And Aggie is asking, then what happens to the unit schools? We want textbooks and not new uniforms. And so says, I think our president just wants to achieve his family aim of putting their name in history, since his father couldn't do any changing of uniform. And this NPP government is changing every good thing in the education sector to bad. Another one from Bolga says, honestly, when it comes to your education, let's not infiltrate politics into educational activities. A typical example is the UEW impasse, and this one is from Ashan in Bolga. Now, residents of Komenda in the central region say they're fed up with excuses government has been giving them. 3 years the factory has been established and it is yet to open. We've been getting some of your reactions on the streets of Accra.
It should be in operation by now, regardless of the points that the raw materials were not planned and all that. I think they should have by now corrected the system such that the plants or the factory should be running. However, it's still not too late. If they can have that, I think I heard them mention some hundreds of millions of dollars. If they can get those investors to invest into it, because it's become a very strategic factory for the youth in central region, and then not even only the youth in the region, some other youth from other regions can also have jobs to do.
Really make me feel bad, because now the youth are complaining there is no work, there's no job, and if there is such thing available, I think it should be in an active way so that the youth get jobs to do for the country to also move on.
Actually, they promised to build a lot of factories and whatever, but as that now, I can't even boast of. They can't even boast of one. And to be honest with you, I own an agency in a way. I run an agency, recruitment agency. I mean, the number I receive on daily basis in terms of looking for a job, my brother, you can't imagine. Yeah, both graduates, I mean, even some of the excess students, graduate looking for jobs. Even nursery trainers are looking for a nanny job.
Very bad and terrible. So I think the government should try as much as possible to pay more attention to them.
I think the business of government is to make better the lives of its citizens. And in this case, the citizens of Komenda. And so if they've made promises of renewing and revamping that factory at Komenda and make sugar an essential commodity as it should be, I think the government of the day should make do on the promise of revamping. They have promised to build industries at one district, one factory, for example. And so they can even adopt that place.
Per what I heard in the news, I think they constructed the factory without taking into consideration the raw materials, all right? So I think, per what I heard, they are now engaging the farmers to put in place a good farming structure to get the factory working. So I'm hopeful that
Let's go to our Facebook page and see what you have been saying. Atta James is asking us, are you not the same people who told us that in 2016 that the factory is producing sugar, and now you're asking revival, cheap NDC propaganda? Okay.
Akahoho says, Roman Spa, this guy is out of caps. And they're referring to Richard Kojonyako's report.
Yes.
Jerry Apia says, reviving? How can you revive something that has not been operational? They should seek it operational than reviving. Kelvin says, you guys go talk through. And Doris Ovin says, next news, please. Ishau says, who told you it's not growing? It's growing spiritually. You need spiritual understanding. Abi, that's what GH is all about. And George Amesi says, my people don't think this president will help you people of Komenda Accra. And the Kwame Asama says, don't exhibit your ignorance here. Was a factory working when this government came into power? Were there raw materials when they were establishing the factory? You can't set up a factory without knowing the source of raw materials. And 3, what was the research done before that whopping amount of money invested? For political gain, you ask. Joseph Hagan says, that place has been one of the strongest holds for the NDC since 1992. What did the NDC do for them? And yeah, these are some of your comments.
All right, you know how to continue the conversation. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram will join you on TV. Send us a WhatsApp message on 055-815-7074. I'm Apito CBD.
Right.